essentially, there's 4 core modules within integral life practice: body, mind, spirit, and shadow. And then you talked about these 2 essential impulses that most people are following onto whatever path they're on, which is the desire to be all that I can be and to contribute and be a part of helping improve our collective life, improve the world. And I'm curious, have you found that there's one particular piece of all of this that is sort of the linchpin around which everything else revolves?
That's a great question, Craig. Thank you. In different individuals, different clarities and passions lead. It is true that for some people the physical practice leads. For others, it's meditation. You know, people have had a life-changing glimpse of divine reality that compels them to align the unillumined experience of quotidian life to that vision and to restore their and return and maybe extend their experience of that profound unity. As we grow over time, I think things change. I think to some degree that there are stage differences. At the beginning, you know, I recently was shocked and was laughing to see a survey that suggested that, you know, spiritual practices have become way more popular in recent times because of yoga. Yoga is now reaching millions and millions of Americans. And the reasons people take up a yoga practice were listed in percentage. And the single biggest reason was women took it up because they wanted this kind of shapely curve in their backside they called a yoga butt. and you know, people can look at that and feel kind of horrified that this kind of narcissistic vanity is the reason people are doing yoga, and then dismiss the whole practice of yoga as if it's nothing but that.
Patanjali is rolling over in his grave.
Right. But I actually think that it's great. I think that people who are narcissistically involved, getting involved with yoga, some of them are going to discover that there's a deeper wisdom in that tradition, and they're going to actually be attracted to other things, and their initially narcissistic motives will naturally evolve. And that evolution of motives is one of the great things about practice. Whatever lower motive you may bring to practice initially, if you sincerely engage in that practice and, you know, hopefully are exposed to some wiser teachers or fellow practitioners, your own motives will begin to evolve too. And there's a great need for us to evolve, not just the top of the pyramid, the most aware people who are likely to be on this call, but people who are earlier in their development. So, you know, I think that's actually a good sign that we're beginning to draw more conventional people into forms of practice. Now, as you evolve, though, certain things begin to click into place. You begin to realize the futility of your egoity and the narcissistic motives that you've brought. You realize that they don't bring you real happiness. You begin to have a revulsion to your own constant narcissistic self-focus, and you outgrow these lower motives. And at that point, the self-focused motives that are usually that focus us in the typological differences in our personalities that make, for one person, a martial art becomes so compelling and enjoyable, for another person, meditation, for another person, intellectual reading, for another person, deep psychological work. After you begin to break through that self-focus, you're seized by that larger motivation, the sense that you articulated when you offered your turn in the Great Integral Awakening series about this way in which the world needs your practice, that your little decisions affect something larger. That kind of awareness begins to awaken in everyone. And so every single type of person who might have a more natural proclivity and strength in one area of practice gets drawn into a motive that requires them to participate on all levels. We can still be specialists. We all have to have our unique expressions. There's nothing wrong with that. Practice isn't something that homogenizes us and makes us all the same. In fact, it liberates our uniqueness and our personality, our aliveness, our own. Everybody's a cartoon character. And the more awake they become, the more free they are to be that cartoon character in a Technicolor 3D 100% uncorked, alive way that is, oddly enough, less and less egoic, even as it's more and more fully expressed.